Welcome back to Sports Madness. I'm Hiram Vaughn. Here we are, episode 2, part 2 of 4. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Again, just want to encourage everybody, subscribe to this channel. Encourage your friends to subscribe to the channel. And let me know the sports that you want to talk about, because otherwise you're stuck listening to the stuff that I want to talk about. And the stuff that I want to talk about, although it's fun and it's exciting, isn't really pertinent to you. And so, please give me some feedback. And, the more feedback that we get, the more we can talk. And, again, I do want to encourage everyone to remember this is your show. I'm narrating it, but it's your show. If you want to talk Cowboys football, we can talk Cowboys football. If you want to talk, Kansas City Royals baseball, let's. So, but if, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm kind of guiding this thing in the path that I want to, which is kind of and I mentioned it in the intro, is what I'm wanting to avoid. I don't want to make it my layout. I want it to be your layout. I want you to have just as much input into this show as I do. Here in this second segment, we're going to go ahead and talk some hockey. Western Conference playoffs. Game 4 going on tonight with Cherry Pepsi. Nothing else in there, just Cherry Pepsi. Excuse me. Gotta give props to Oklahoma State. Go Pokes. Anyway, so the Western Conference Game 4, St. Louis and San Jose. Game in San Jose. Sharks with a 2-1 series lead after back-to-back shutouts for the Sharks. And I'll tell you, it's turning into the series that I was kind of afraid it was going to turn into, as in not competitive, very one-sided. And Martin Jones, the goalie for San Jose, and we'll talk the St. Louis goalies in a minute. But right now, man, Martin Jones, 48 saves out of 48 shots in the last 2 games, and he already has 3 or 4 saves in this one today. He's on some kind of roll right now. Hadn't given up a goal since game 1 of this series. Didn't give one up in game 2. Didn't give one up in game 3. Man, he's seeing the puck extremely well right now, and he's doing everything that he needs to do to keep to give the Sharks every opportunity. He's doing just that. Just extremely impressive in goal. Between the pipes for the Sharks, again, 48 saves in the last 2 games out of 48 shots faced. If you keep having that kind of success, well, you're not going to lose anything, and he didn't. If he dropped game 1, he's won game 2 and game 3. I think they're going to win, and I said it before, I think they're going to win game 4 tonight in San Jose, and I think they'll close this thing back out in St. Louis. But man, St. Louis has got some problems everywhere. They replaced the goalie, and they're starting the new goalie tonight. For St. Louis, I'm trying to see. I saw where it had changed. I'm just checking it out really quick to see who they have going in the pipes for the Blues tonight. And it is not telling me. Let's see. This will probably tell me. I know it's a guy that I hadn't seen. Oh, yeah, Jake Allen. Second-round pick from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Hey, Fredericton, New Brunswick, that's where Corey Wood from University of Arkansas at Monticello is candidate for National Division II Player of the Year. I know that town well. Fredericton, New Brunswick. Second-year guy, second-round pick of the Blues. But yeah, he's making his first appearance, his first start of the postseason. He only appeared in 2 games. He's only appeared in 2 games in the postseason for St. Louis. Has a 915 save percentage. It's about 30 points lower than you really want it to be for a starting goalie at that level. But I'll tell you, the goalie is not the problem for St. Louis. It is. When you're giving up 4 or 5 goals a game, the goalie is going to be a problem. But no, the problem for St. Louis is offensively, man. They just can't get it going. And, they end up falling behind early in these games, and they put all the pressure on themselves, and then they turn around and end up, in a really bad way, and it's kind of self-inflicted. They actually give up an own goal in their last game, and that one, you can partially put it on the goalie, but, when you're constantly playing 1-on-3, 1-on-4, 2-on-4, at a serious disadvantage all the time, and not even by power plays, just you're always undermanned, and it's the offense. It is the offense. The defense isn't terrible. It's not good by any means, but it's not terrible. And it's so weird because in the past, San Jose has been so streaky and so inconsistent with their play, especially their play in goal, that, to catch, the break of having a hot goalie right now, for them is a huge deal. And so they've got a hot goalie. Their offense is on track. Their defense is doing great. And then, but, they're not allowing, 22 shots in a game is not a ton. It's not, I mean, it could be lower, obviously, but, it's not, 22 shots is just not a ton at that level, so for St. Louis, I don't think the answer is as simple as, we got to replace the goalie and we'll be good. They've got so many things that they've got to straighten out, and they're going to have a long, tough offseason. They just are. And, there's really no other way to word it than that. They're going to have a tough offseason. They're going to have a long offseason, and it's not going to be favorable for them. And, they're not going to win the Stanley Cup. They're not going to win this series. They're not. And, they're just out. Even though they're the home team, they're just outmatched. So, I've got to give. You got to give credit to San Jose, but man, you've got to point a finger as well. And that, that finger pointing, if it goes squarely at, I say it goes squarely at, because I don't know. I don't know if it goes more with the coaching or more with the effort, because it's just the lack of effort is astounding. The level at which they're being outplayed is astounding, especially in a conference final with the Stanley Cup on the line. It's pretty astounding. And then, Holly, it's crazy to see a team this outmatched at this level in the NHL playoffs. It just is. Yeah, I'm really dry. Throat's really dry today. Not sure what's going on. But yeah, so it's just kind of a strange series, very one-sided. And again, we said on here that it would be. I called San Jose in 5. I see no reason to change that. Switching over to the other series for just a little bit. Tampa Bay winning Game 4 at home, 4-3 over the Pens, tying the series up at 2. Man, Vasilevsky, whoo! He had a game, in 35 saves. 35 saves. Now, that's a lot of shots in an NHL game. We're talking about 22 shots, 24 saves. That's not a lot of shots. 38 shots. He started getting 35, 30. Well, he saved 35 out of 38 that he faced. You start getting 38, 40, 42, 44 shots. You're getting into some numbers now, even by NHL standards. Occasionally, you'll have a game where a team shoots 50. But yeah, Tampa Bay wins 4-3. Vasilevsky 35 saves in the win. Tampa Bay came out strong, took a 4-0 lead after in the second period, and then Pittsburgh came alive. They just became torrid in the third period, and they scored 3 in the third and very nearly tied it at the end of regulation. But that series is all tied up. Evgeny Malkin for Pittsburgh scored his 4th goal of the postseason to give them the 3rd goal. And man, I'd say that guy has to have been in the league forever. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to pull up his card right now just to see exactly how long he has been in this league, because it seems like he's been in 13 or 14 years. Well, as has Nikita Kucherov for Tampa Bay, but yeah, let's see here. I'll have it here in just a second. Malkin. Marc-Andre Fleury. He's been in the league forever, too. Oh, he really hasn't. Evgeny Malkin, he hasn't been in the league all that long. Long enough that he was born in the Soviet Union, though, so he's a little older. He is. Let's see. Player profile. Okay, this is his 12th season. I thought he'd been in. He was drafted back in 2004. He's the number 2 overall pick. So he's been in the league for a while. I must have just started following him immediately when he came in, though. He was born in the Soviet Union, so that tells you a lot right there. But yeah, I just, and we talked about Pittsburgh's veteran leadership. If they're going to win this series, that's how they're going to win. And they, that veteran leadership's got to come through for them. They didn't. They're tied at 2 now, heading back to Pittsburgh for Game 5. I said that Tampa was going to win the series in 7. I still believe that. And these two teams are even enough. Tampa took Game 1, 3-1, and then lost Game 2 and then Game 3 in Tampa, and then the Lightning won Game 4. So both teams have shown that they can win on the other ice, and there hasn't been just a blowout loss. There've been a couple of two run. Listen to me, I've got baseball on the brain. A couple of 2-goal games, a couple of 1-goal games. So nothing like the other series where you've got 3-0, 4-0, where and every game is like this. Nothing like that at all. So that's what's going on there. I still like Tampa in 7 in that series. But I also say that I like Tampa in 7 if they win Game 5. If not, Tampa's not going to win the last 2, including a Game 7, if they also have to win Game 6. If they win Game 5 and lose Game 6, yeah, they could probably take Game 7. We'll see what happens. Very competitive series there. That's the end of segment 2 here. Part 2 of 4 here on Vaughn Sports Madness. Part 3 will be here in just a moment.